Okay, so many people told me that they really like my slingshots. They're all made out of steel and metal. And if you want to build a slingshot like this one, which is really sleek and very powerful, in this case you need welding equipment. But a lot of people do not have welding equipment. So today's task will be to build a very powerful slingshot that's not much weaker than this one, without welding equipment, just with household tools like a drill and a hammer, things like that. These are the parts we're going to need for our project. In detail, we need a small length of pipe, rectangular, doesn't really matter how thick, about 4 inches 10 centimeters long. We need 2 eyeballs, nice and strong, 2 of them. We need 1 screw, not too long, just about as long as your fist, because that's going to be the grip afterwards. We're going to need 2 lengths of tubular rubber. Could be any type. I like the TheraTube stuff, but there's also other surgical tube. You will find them on eBay. We need a patch of leather that could come from an old shoe, from anything that's stable enough, and you have to put 2 holes in it, here and here. And we're going to need some nuts and O-rings. Also for the grip we're going to need Fimo, which is modeling clay that hardens in the oven. It actually takes 30 minutes at 110 centigrade to harden. It's very colorful. It's really for children and you can find it on eBay. Next we drill 3 holes in the piece of metal, and at the sides it's going to be 8 millimeters, and in the middle it's 10 millimeters for the thick screw in the middle and for the eyeballs at the sides. Now you can already see how it's going to look like. Okay, we're basically finished. It's already a functional slingshot, and just make sure that the slit in the eyeballs are open wide enough. You can open them a little bit with a screwdriver and a hammer. Next, we're going to cut off the extra thread here. So now we're pretty much finished with the metalworks. Let's attach some bands. Next, put 1 piece of tube right through the hole in the leather and make sure that the ends are going through a little bit so that you can grip them. Then tie a piece of string around it. I recommend the constriction knot. If you type that into YouTube, you will get a lot of video manuals how to tie the constriction knot. And then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, that's it. Now cut off the extra ends because they're not nice looking and maybe in the way later. Okay, let's slip on the bands. To do this, you just pull it over here and you pull and they slip automatically in. Very easy. Band change is so simple with this thing. Next side. Now they're in. Now this is already a functional slingshot. Shoes. It's not very ergonomic yet, but that's going to come later. Next we're going to do the grip. We're going to need about 4 to 5 pieces of Fimo for this. Open them up and bunch them together. Okay, now the Fimo is on the middle screw, and what we're going to do is we're going to grip it like this, well beneath the screws. You don't want to get in contact with those. And then you simply grip very hard. And what you see is that the Fimo forms like your hand. Now you do a little bit fine retouching. Afterwards, we put it in the oven. Next, we put it in the oven. Make sure that the Fimo doesn't touch anything in the oven because it's going to deform. Close the door. And now let's bake it. 100 degrees centigrade. Enter. And go for about 35 minutes. Oops. And start. Okay, this is the finished Slingshot. As you see, it's now very hard as stone, the grip material. You can spray paint it if you don't like the colorful checkering here. I think it's quite attractive. The big advantage is you can adjust the height of the fork. Now the lower the fork, the less strain on the wrist, but also the harder it is to shoot with this without hitting your hand. So this is now a Slingshot with an adjustable fork height. Let's shoot with it. So if you need to change the bands against the stronger set, like this one here, it's much more powerful, it's very easy. You just slip the old bands right out, like this, and then you clip on the new bands. Very easy. 1 and 2, and they're on it. Okay, I hope that you've liked it. It's a nice Slingshot. It's not as sleek looking as the ones that I do with my welding equipment, but I can assure you it's just as powerful. Thanks, bye bye.